This is the embarrassing moment when we find out that no one from McFly is here, and that is just the song that I played to myself before I do an item on the show. Harry Judd.
Hello. They said to me before, they said, when we play one of your songs, that's when you come in. I thought, okay, hopefully it's one I know, I remember.
I mean, look, come on.
We know that one.
Well, I mean, we do know that one, but I mean, 10 million records sold, Harry.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we've got 7 number ones, we've 15 top 10 hits, a new album on the way.
That's right, Patrick, that's right, yes.
It's also, you see, whenever I look at you, you know, I'm trying to price you age-wise, Harry.
I was thinking this because we first met 17 years ago.
He's got the date right. I was hoping he didn't have it.
Yeah, 17 years.
So
carry on.
You were 34 at that stage.
I was not 34. No, I was 19.
So
we met 17 years ago. Yeah, I'm 36.
Yes.
So you must be 41?
42.
42, close.
Harry and I met on a cricket tour, a comic relief cricket tour.
Yes.
Which I mean, who was on this tour? It was a
Chris Evans.
It was a Who's That of cricket, wasn't it?
Chris Evans, Nick Hancock, Nick Knowles,
Dermot O'Leary,
Jake Humphrey, who I'm still very good friends with to this day.
Yes.
The singer, who was Jay Sean?
Yes.
Who was a lovely guy.
Jay Sean, yes.
Who went on to be very successful.
He went on to be very successful. Not as successful as you. I mean, this is all about you.
Well,
not all about him.
Thank you. No, it's not. Let's not talk about him.
Let's not talk about
Jack Russell, the cricketer, Phil Tufnell.
Jack Russell brought beans.
He bought lots of beans.
Do you remember that?
I do indeed.
And then he painted a lovely picture of the
Yes.
Braeburn cricket ground.
He did, which, do you still have your print?
I actually have it hanging downstairs in the house in Dundrum, County Down.
Lovely. Yes, that was an amazing trip. We went to India, didn't we?
You were the only player, to be fair.
Yes,
we
the cricketing ability was mixed. Actually, it wasn't mixed. It was pretty poor throughout.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed being able to kind of...
We were going to ask this question later on because the texts, have been... The moment we said that you were on, the texts are coming in. Someone kind of wanted to know, should you have gone into cricket instead of music? Because you're a very good musician, but you could have been a contender.
No,
Harry.
well, the thing is,
you could have been a contender.
When I joined the band, I was definitely better at cricket than I was at playing the drums. But I did get to a good standard when I was a teenager. But when you get to the sort of the higher levels, you soon realise, actually, no, I'm not quite good enough. I'm not quite good enough for this. And so, it was something I loved. I still love. I've been lucky enough to play lots of charity cricket games I recently played with Ben Stokes, Joe Root.
See?
Yeah, in a charity game, which was good fun.
Did those guys come to see you at Glastonbury this year? How close are you with those men?
No, they didn't. I should just be claiming that they did come to watch and they're massive McFly fans. But no, they didn't. Glastonbury, that was another career highlight right there. That was incredible.
You guys are getting cooler, I think.
You think?
I do. I kind of think that you had a huge pop following, and just gradually as you guys grew into your life, you kind of just become slightly more dudier.
Well, I think
I think that Glastonbury is kind of where you guys needed to be.
It's almost a seal of approval, isn't it? I mean, I think when you first come out, obviously we were a pop band. We were essentially a boy band. We were a boy band with guitars. So it was like a new wave of pop music. There was Busted and then McFly. And so suddenly...
Was there a McBusted at one point?
There was a McBusted. That was about 10 years later. So suddenly when we came out, like boy bands that, just sang and danced just weren't cool anymore. So our fan base were essentially, fans of boy bands, but we were the new wave. And so a lot of people kind of hated us as well for that. But then over time, you see now people who are in their 20s, 30s, who are coming to our gigs, who I think when they were probably teenagers were like, oh man, I hate McFly. But they're now at our gigs singing along. But it's amazing for us because we have mums, dads, we have them bringing their kids. We even somehow have like teenagers at some of our gigs. So it's just, yeah, man, it's just great to still be going, really.
Did you bring the kids to Glastonbury? Was that
I didn't bring the kids to Glastonbury. Danny brought his kid to Glastonbury, and it proved exactly why I didn't bring my kid to Glastonbury, because it was just chaos, man. I think we just wanted to just enjoy the experience. But my kids have been to 2 or 3 shows this summer, but most of the shows are a Saturday, Sunday. They've got school on Monday. we're on stage at like 9:30.
What age are your kids, Harry?
My kids are 6, 5, and our little boy has just turned 1.
Can I just say, it's okay on this show to say we go to play the gigs to get away from the kids.
We do. Why do you think I'm here today? My wife has taken all 3 of them to football. She was like, what? You're doing an interview on a Saturday morning? I was like, I do. I've got to go. She's like, what are you going on to talk about? I was like, I don't know, but I've been asked, so I'm going.
Can you not do this on Zoom? No.
Absolutely not. No, but they love it. They can't believe it. Like, I got my son up on stage and sat him on my lap, and he played along to All About You, actually, at our gig at Carfest, Chris Evans's festival.
I mean, that is just so much fun, isn't it?
Yeah, amazing.
And we're not going to talk about Chris Evans getting me run out at the Braeburn Stadium. We'll move on. We'll move on to that. Harry is with us. We've got lots of questions coming in. We're going to go through some of those very, very soon. But right now, we're going to test how well prepared our 5 Live commentators are before the big game today. Do they know all the facts that matter, Harry? This is where a young football fan tries to beat the commentator with their knowledge. And here's who our challenger is up against today.
Beat the commentator.
It will be England to get us underway in the all-white kit.
Hello, my name is Vicky Sparks. I've been a football commentator for nearly 9 years.
The fight for a women's right to play football has not always been fair, but it's been fought with purpose, with passion, with pride, and that is the spirit that England must draw on today.
The most memorable match I've commentated on has to be England winning the Women's Euros at Wembley this summer.
And it's stabbed in at the second attempt, and surely Chloe Kelly could have won at an extra time for England. She rips off her shirt, she whirls it around her head.
What an occasion, in front of a new record crowd for a Euros final, and an extra time winner for Chloe Kelly. It doesn't get much better than that.
It's helped on towards the halfway line. No more years of hurt. No more need for dreaming, because dreams have become reality at Wembley.
Absolute scenes here at 5 Live as we're joined this morning by Vicky Sparks. Good morning, Vicky. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you. I love hearing that back. I will never get tired of thinking about that night at Wembley. It was just unbelievable.
What I love is that when you speak to you, Vicky, at this time in the morning, your voice is just a couple of octaves lower. But it sort of just feels like a Formula One car that's in the garage that is just slowly revving.
Revving through the gears, getting ready for Tottenham Everton. You've got to build it up. This kick-off at 5:30 this evening, so I can't go too big too soon, as Frankie did earlier with his packed lunch. I mean, rookie error. I know it's a 12:30 kick-off, but can't tuck into that at 10 o'clock. Come on,
Vicky. Are you a packed lunch type of lady, or are you going to avail of the corporate hospitality at the Tottenham Stadium?
Well, I wouldn't say corporate hospitality, but certainly as professionals working media on a match day, we're provided with very nice food at Tottenham. So yes, it would be unprofessional not to eat. Low blood sugar, got to keep it up, haven't you?
How prepared are you for this massive game?
It's going to be fantastic. I mean, Tottenham in brilliant form at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They've won their last 7 Premier League home games there. That's their longest winning run at home in the Premier League, actually, since May 2017. But Everton under Frank Lampard losing their 7-match unbeaten run with defeat against Manchester United last time out. And it's a brilliant matchup, isn't it? Lampard against Conte. He never played under Conte at Chelsea, Lampard, but 2 managers in different stages, of course, of their career, but with different expectations and ambitions in this season as well. But very much Lampard looking to get something from one of the masters of the game.
Vicky, what I love what you've done there is you've actually just gone stat on us. You've given us stat after stat after stat.
Exactly. I know what this game's about. I'm just laying out my credentials early on.
Well, look, what you've done is you've just marched yourself up to the top of the hill where you are about to meet 10-year-old. Our stat boy this week is Noah, but this is what happened last week when Ian Dennis marched himself up to the top of the hill against 10-year-old stat boy Tom.
Up the road from Stamford Bridge is London's most expensive street, Kensington Palace Gardens. But which one costs more? An average house on Kensington Palace Gardens, or Wesley Fofana's transfer from Chelsea to Leicester City?
I'm going to go with the average street price at Kensington Palace Gardens.
The correct answer is Wesley Fofana's transfer.
Come on! How much was Wesley Fofana's transfer, Tom?
£70 million.
An average house price on Kensington Palace Gardens, Tom, is?
£35 million.
It's with Koulibaly to Chalobah, one of the 7 changes coming in, of course, for the injured Wesley Fofana. Wesley Fofana actually costs more than the average price rise for the most expensive street in London, Kensington Palace Gardens. Speaking of the rich and wealthy, John Hunt, here's the racing.
That's how you do it, Vicky. That's how you do it. Okay,
What a master he is, Ian Dennis. What a master.
We don't want any reference to this program. We don't want any reference to Statboy Noah. If you actually get one of these facts wrong, we just want you to slip them in there the way you do. So with that, we say good morning to your challenger this morning. It is Statboy Noah. Good morning, Statboy.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very, very well. Tell me a fascinating fact about yourself, Noah.
I play the drums.
Yes.
You play the drums. We have Harry Judd, one of the greatest drummers these islands have ever produced. So you know, do you have a drum set at home? Is it at school? Where do you play the drums, Noah?
I've got one at my house right now.
Are they close by?
Yeah, I'm right next to him actually.
Oh, come on, Noah.
Okay, for Harry, come on, give us a little wake up call here this morning.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yes, Noah.
There we go. Come on, what about that? Okay, what we're going to do, Noah, we're going to sample that bed and we are going to use that underneath our questions today. You're going to be taking on the mighty Vicky Sparks for a commentary match this evening. Tottenham versus Everton. Here we go. Let's play Beat the Commentator. Okay, Noah, your first question for our commentator, Vicky.
One of Tottenham's most famous fans is Lord Sugar, but according to the Sunday Times rich list, how much money does he have? £885 million or £1.2 billion?
Is it A, 885 million or B, 1.2 billion, Vicky?
Good question, Noah, and I'm a big fan of The Apprentice as well, so I like it. I feel it might have... Oh, this is tough because he's been a billionaire for a long time, but it might have dropped. I'm going to go with the first answer, option A.
885 million. Hold that thought. Question number 2, Noah.
Spurs attacker Richarlison could face his old club Everton today. But in an interview 3 years ago, what did Richarlison say was his favourite English dish? Was smashed avocado toast with poached egg or pasta?
Cool. Are either of those traditional English dishes? I don't know.
You see, it's not it's not whether they are, Vicky. It's what did he say?
It's what Richarlison said. If we're going with what Richarlison said, let's go with pasta.
Okay, she's gone for pasta. Okay, and the final question. This is a belter, Noah. Go ahead.
Everton manager Frank Lampard took an IQ test when he was a Chelsea player. What was his score? A, 150 or B, 172?
I think this is going to be high because I know that Lampard, he got loads of GCSEs. I think he got about 10 of them. 172. That was a higher one, wasn't it? Let's go for that.
Okay, you're going for 172. Okay. I can tell you in from the get-go. Let's just go from the get-go, okay? Lord Sugar, what's he worth? Was it 885 million? Was it 1.2 billion? You went for 1.2. You went for 885 million, Vicky. The answer is Noah.
1.2 billion.
1.2 billion.
Oh, that's annoying.
Okay.
Not a good start, is it, Noah? Well, it is for you. Very good start. Well done.
Okay. Richarlison's favourite English food, smashed avocado on toasted poached egg. You went, or pasta. You went for pasta. The correct answer is?
Yeah.
Pasta.
Pasta, there we go. You've got out of jail there, Vicky. You don't need that one. And finally, Everton manager Frank Lampard's IQ, was it 150 or 172? You went for 172. The answer, Noah, is... Noah?
Does that mean it was right?
Oh, hang on. Is that Noah? Is that Noah that we've lost on the line, or is it Vicky in the knowledge
I'm
that she's...
here.
Oh, so Vicky
No,
is there.
I'm ready and waiting to know if I won.
What we actually thought, Vicky, was we thought that you realised that you were going to lose and you just hung up on us. But it was actually Noah just building the tension. Noah, was it 150 or 172? Frank Lampard's IQ.
It was 150.
150.
Oh, Frank, you've let me down there.
Oh, should we? Harry Judd is with us. Should Vicky have to do both those facts, or which fact do you think we should let her do?
Oh, I think she's got to do both, surely. The Lampard one's worse, though. How's she going to slip that in?
Okay, we're going to leave you with the Frank Lampard, IQ test figure. If you could slip that into commentary this evening, we'd be very happy with that, Vicky. And that is Vicky that's gone now. Okay, Vicky is off. She's heading to commentate on the 5:30 game. That is Tottenham versus Everton. Noah, are you still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Good lad. You have beaten the commentator. Would you like to give us a celebratory drum roll if the drums are still close by? Get back. You're the winner, kid. You're the winner. Well done. That was Noah, who has beaten our commentator. Well done, Noah. Brilliant facts. Thanks for coming on Beat the Commentator today. Vicky has made a quick exit. Let's hope she gets that Frank Lampard fact in. Live commentary of Spurs versus Everton, 5:30 here on 5 Live. And if you think you could challenge one of our 5 Live commentators, get in touch. Doesn't have to be football. Maybe you're an expert on F1, rugby, cricket, Women's Rugby World Cup, whatever. You could be playing Beat the Commentator next week. 85058 on the text. Email at patrick@bbc.co.uk. Harry Judd is with us. Was that song played in space, Harry?
It was played in space, yeah.
Talk me through that.
Our fans bombarded NASA with tweets and just insisted that they played it. So I think it was the first song ever to be played in space. I think. Let's go with that fact.
Yeah, but hang on. So a rocket goes into space.
Yeah, with some astronauts in.
Yes.
Yes.
And then did NASA sort of say, you know, does anybody want to request a song?
I think
or how
possibly. You're better off asking our fans. Hopefully they can, if they're listening, they can tell you the facts of it. But I think basically all I remember is they bombarded NASA with the at NASA, Twitter account, and bombarded them with requests, demands that they played Stargirl in space. And they did.
And I can tell that really means a lot to you.
It does, as you can see. I'm not sure what the astronauts made of it, but no, we have quite a McFly army, is what we call them. They're our Galaxy Defenders. They're quite a force, Patrick.
I actually did a gig. I did an award ceremony, and you guys were coming on. And I mean, the McFly fans, they're pretty fierce, aren't they?
They're epic. I mean, next year was our 20th anniversary as a band. And, to still be doing this. I remember when we started, 2003, 2004, the question was, within a year or two, was, so, what's the shelf life of a band like this? And what are you going to do when this finishes? You're going to get a proper job. And thankfully, we've had some, amazingly loyal fans, and we're still able to go out and do what we do. It's great.
So whenever you ran the marathon earlier this, a couple of weeks ago?
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
So, and you know, when I ran the marathon and you put your name on there so people know who you are. But I'm assuming McFly fans, you don't need a name. You just run and people know who you are.
No, I put my name on for sure. Yeah, I put my name on, which I don't know about you, but for the first kind of, if I'm being really honest here, the first kind of 16 to 20 miles, you're loving the support, people cheering your name and, you know, oh, look, it's Harry from McFly, you know. And just people that still don't recognise you, just nice to say, go on, Harry, you know. About 20 miles onwards, people going, go on, Harry. I'm literally thinking, just shush, stop now.
Yeah.
Like, you're in so much pain. The last 6 miles of a marathon, you go to a place that you've never been to before.
I thought I wasn't going to get up the embankment. My two brothers were running with me, and the only way they could actually keep me moving was they kept pretending to me that they'd seen
the finish line.
No, Sue Barker with a camera. No, I think that's you on there.
They knew you'd love to get on the telly.
Well, they just knew that the vanity would actually.
Do you know what? It was Jake Humphries who we went on that trip to India on the first marathon I ever did. He was like, "Oh, Harry's here. Harry, come and chat to us." I was like, "No, you know, I'm here for the charity, obviously, but I have a target time." So I wasn't keen on stopping. And if you stop at a certain point in a marathon, it's very difficult to get going again.
There was a point coming over Tower Bridge where you actually turn right to go out into the Isle of Dogs and sort of, you know, but there was a gap in the barriers, and I was kind of thinking just
slip off.
Yeah. You didn't see that guy, the club runner that led the marathon?
I did. That was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah, I think he's actually a very good runner, but obviously he did that for show.
But what was funny was you could see him and his legs were just going almost like the speed that I would be even dreaming of sprinting at. And the other guy's just in behind, just
still cruising.
Yeah,
it's astonishing how fast these top marathon runners run. It's crazy. The guy actually, Eliud Kipchoge, broke the world record the week before in Berlin, running 2 hours, 1 minute and 9 seconds. I think it was. I'm a complete running nerd now. Like, I'm totally obsessed. And I met him after the marathon, which was an amazing moment. And I met Paula Radcliffe. And so, yeah, it really is. I'm sure you can vouch for this. It's just the most incredible event.
Saturday morning with Patrick Kielty.
Welcome back to the show, folks. We have the final half hour of the show, a little mini show for you. What could possibly go wrong with that title? Please say happy birthday to Ollie and Stevenage. He's 27 today. I mean, that's kind of what I'm here for. Shout outs to 27-year-olds. It's
half your age, Patrick.
You see, what's funny about that is that's not too far from the truth, Harry.
Really?
Yeah, there's very little comeback
you look
there.
Great.
You say that. Lucy spent all day yesterday making a birthday cake, and we forgot to bring it, so we've just picked up a Clyde the Caterpillar from the shop. There you go. The old M&S favourite, the old Caterpillar cake from M&S. A shout out to Ollie. One for you. Here, Harry, Jackie in Hartlepool says, I'm loving Noah on Beat the Commentator. My son Alex used to learn drums at school, but our walls are too thin to have any at home, so he has made a kit out of some Tupperware containers.
Nice. You get amazing street drummers who play on tins and pots and pans and things.
Yeah.
I got an electric kit home for my son, who's also called Kit, which is not because I'm a drummer. A lot of people say that to me. They're like, is it because you're a drummer? You called your son Kit? I'm like, no, I just like the name. He's got an electric kit. My son Kit has an electric kit. So
yeah.
Put the headphones on and yeah. But you can get an amp for them as well, so you can still, it sounds like a real kit almost.
I mean, on behalf of all parents, can I just thank you for the drum lessons during the pandemic that you actually did for your charity.
Pots and pans and I got an electric kit on the day before lockdown because I thought, I'm going to have nothing to play. Who knows how long this lockdown's going to last? So I went and bought an electric kit so I could play during lockdown. There we go.
People locked in their houses, unable to leave, and this is the man that decided that what you needed was drum lessons in your kitchen. Keep the text coming, folks. 85058. Email patrick@bbc.co.uk. By the way, if there's something you're doing this weekend that you kind of just want to get out of, because it's the weekend, we agree to all these things, and then the weekend comes, and then you think, oh, do I really need to do that? How do I get out of it? Something you've said yes to. We will get you out of this, so just give us a shout, 85058. We'll decide whether you have to go through it or not. A little bit that we're calling I'm a Listener, Get Me Out of Here. Or you can email Patrick at bbc.co.uk. Colin Murray is here at 11 o'clock with Fight and Talk. How are you, fella?
Couple of things.
Yes.
Clyde the Caterpillar is Asda.
Oh, Asda.
Yes.
Asda.
I know you haven't shopped there in a long time, Paddy, but
I'm more of a little man myself.
The Marks and don't I can't say what I was going to say. Marks and Spencer's is Colin the Caterpillar. That's why I know it's one of the few things that carries the name Colin with any credibility. So yes, so Clyde and Colin, very different kind of caterpillar cakes.
Okay.
What else have we got to say?
Yes. You do realise that we have Dan Schreiber here, the host of the most streamed podcast in the UK.
Yeah.
No such thing as a fish. He basically knows everything, and he knows interesting facts, and those are the facts that you're actually busting in front of him.
It wasn't a fact, it was a correction. I thought you'd want
correction.
that. I was correcting you.
Oh, sorry.
A couple other things.
Yes.
I like naming your kid after the instrument you play. So like a lead guitarist would call their kid Wah Wah. Yeah. So I love the idea of that. It's brilliant. So kid's a great name. Yeah. And then the other thing I was going to say is, why was I sitting outside your studio, right? Mm-hmm. But to talk to you, I had to come to a different studio. Are you a diva? Have you got rules about like how many people are around you? Is that what's happening here, Paddy?
Look, basically what happens is that, this show has been on for 6 weeks. It's kind of the same length as a Liz Trust premiership. And we're trying to anybody that kind of comes into the studio does get polluted and tainted by the energy from this show. And we're really just trying to protect you from me.
I'll accept that.
You're going to accept that?
The other thing I wanted to say was Sunday, probably tomorrow, Monday at the latest. We always like to wait a week because radio's the most important thing.
Yes.
But our interview we did for our Midnight Meets podcast, and get loads of tweets from people that tuned in halfway through or want to hear it. That'll go up later in the weekend. And it was brilliant. So I just want to say thanks for doing it again.
Look, I mean, it was lovely. And if anybody hasn't heard the interview, it's very much the opposite of this chat. It's actually, it's interesting. It's interesting and funny. It's interesting and funny. And
it's top quality radio.
And you and I are good company.
How dare you? How dare
there you go. Good lad. Okay.
Do you want to know who's on Fight and Talk quickly?
We'd love to.
Yeah, Jake Wood's on. Dougie Anderson's on. Henning Vane's on. Hasn't been on in ages because that's what happens. Comedians get popular and then they stop coming on because the fee's too low. That's the God's honest truth. So like if you go back in time, like everyone has been on here, Kevin Bridges, John Oliver. Although to be fair, John lives in the States, so that would be difficult for him to come on. But yeah, Henning Vane's back. Just sold out the Apollo, didn't he, last night or somewhere like that?
Something like that.
And Tracy Neville's making her debut today, which I love Tracy. So Tracy at her politest is too rude for Fight and Talk. So she's going to be absolutely brilliant today. So really good show.
And Miriam Margolis on the bench.
Oh, yes. When they came in this morning and sat down, I wanted to say...
Let's not go there. Colin Murray and Fight and Talk here at 11. Saturday morning 5 Live. Harry Judd from McFly is with us, and we're now joined by the magnificent Dan Schreiber, the host of the UK's most streamed podcast, No Such Thing as a Fish. He's one of the fact-finding QI elves. He now has written an amazing book described as a voyage into the world of the weird. It is called The Theory of Everything Else. I am delighted to welcome Dan to the show. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Really excited to be here with you both.
I mean, not as excited as I was when this little book dropped through the door last night. This was my when the kids go to bed on a Friday night, Daddy has a Friday night read. and that normally involves a gin and tonic with a slice of orange.
Ooh, lovely.
So, and this was my little gin and tonic companion last night. Now, this is basically, so it's called The Theory of Everything Else. So does this cover everything you need to know apart from the life of Stephen Hawking?
Well, the idea was, I think, all the years I've been doing research, you look into characters who've defined the world that we live in. And I noticed as I was looking into virtually every single person that bubbling away underneath is this little bit of weirdness that they believe in that no one really talks about. And it often informs the discoveries that they made and all the things that they did. So the idea of the book was we all believe in weird things. I think we should just admit that. And while scientists are looking for the big theory of everything, there are millions of us around the world investigating our own things, looking for the theory of everything else. You know, do ghosts exist? Are aliens here? Why did the Titanic sink? There are so many theories about why the Titanic sank that do not involve the iceberg. You know, so it's a book that kind of collects.
It was
all this
fine
stuff.
when it left Belfast.
Yeah, it was
just
really
saying, it was
good.
fine when it left us.
But like, so Harry, you're a drummer, and Noah was a drummer on earlier. Here's one thing that I find amazing: Ringo Starr. Do you know the reason why he has such a unique drum beat?
Because
so
he's
good.
isn't he because he's left-handed, but he plays on a right-handed kit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a left-handed drummer playing on a right-handed kit.
Yeah.
But the reason that he's playing on a right-handed kit is because when he was a kid, his grandmother performed multiple exorcisms on him so that he would have the devil expelled out of him.
What?
And he was turned right-handed. So Ringo Starr started...
Ringo, we got to get the devil
This
out
is
here.
chapter 4 in your book.
There's chapter 4 in my book.
Hence
and
why, some of his drum beats and his patterns are very interesting. He plays some of the fills the wrong way round.
Exactly. He has to lead with the wrong hand. So his grandmother was known as the Voodoo Queen of Liverpool, and she performed these...
There's an album title.
Yeah, exactly. And so she got rid of the left-handedness of him, and he became a right-handed drummer when he started, and he bought a right-handed kit, but then he slowly went back to left. And he kept the right-handed kit. So that's the reason for this
Why?
unique Ringo swing, as it's called, is because of exorcisms. So it's kind of like, you know, how weirdnesses have informed the world.
What I love about this book is that and you set it up so lovely at the start, that idea that we're all a little bit weird, but even people who have done amazing things that you kind of assume are brilliant in their field, they still sometimes, you know, like Bram Stoker.
Yeah.
Believe that.
Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula, believed that Queen Elizabeth I was secretly a man. And it was the last thing that he wrote as his final book. It was a chapter in his final book where he went into a full kind of proper Michael Moore-esque investigation where he went to the town of Bisley, I think it's called. And the story is that Queen Elizabeth died as a young child, and the king was coming to say hi, and they thought, we need to replace the queen with another queen, and they couldn't find a girl in the little town, so they found a boy that looked a bit similar, who might have been the illegitimate child of the king anyway, and then the boy just had to pretend to be the queen for the rest of their life. And that's Bram Stoker, who, you know...
And suddenly it becomes apparent why that was Bram Stoker's last book.
Yeah, exactly. But I do like, I mean, even the people that you would not expect to have these kind of weirdnesses in them, it's so wonderful discovering, for example, Prince Philip. I didn't know this, but in the 50s, he basically ran a secret X-Files unit within Buckingham Palace. He did alien investigation.
Really?
He was a subscriber to Flying Saucer Review magazine. He had that coming monthly. He had a guy called Peter Horsley who went off to investigate a potential extraterrestrial Nordic-looking man, so a humanoid alien who was living somewhere in London. And there's all these files that we've not been shown yet, which supposedly exist, but he loved aliens.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, you know, Nicholas Witchell, while we're on the...
I was just about to go on the Royal Connection
The Royal
and
Connection.
with the sweatshirt that you've got on.
I've got a Loch Ness Monster sweatshirt. Nicholas Witchell, BBC Royal Correspondent, when he was 19 years old, built himself a hut on the side of Loch Ness and lived in it for 6 months with a pair of binoculars and a long lens camera looking for Nessie, and wrote a seminal book on Nessie. And he was going to Leeds to study law, but he decided, actually, I want to be a journalist now. So Nessie kind of gave him his route in life. He still did law, but he left there and became a BBC journalist.
And whenever Nessie came up from the water and looked at Nicholas Witchell, went, "Is that bloody man?" And that's why he couldn't get the scoop. It's amazing though what we kind of believe in, and that idea of what is fact, what is fiction, what's superstition.
Yeah.
I mean, are you superstitious? Do you believe in religion? Do you believe in a football team?
No, I don't really believe in anything, which is a bizarre starting point from this book. But I think it kind of helps, because what I do believe is I believe in people who believe in things. If you believe in
Do
ghosts,
you believe that children are our future?
I do believe. I think they should show the way.
You believe in growth?
Yeah, I believe in growth.
Good, yes.
I believe, I like things like synchronicity, right? I like the idea that this universe is telling us that something is going on, but I don't believe it. But God, it's a good feeling when you discover. There's a story I have in the book about destiny, like people who have the sense of destiny about them. And when Ronald Reagan in 1981, there was an assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan, and it didn't work out because the Secret Service guy Jerry Parr grabbed him and he threw him into the back of the limo, and they drove off to the White House. They checked him for any bullets, didn't have any. Said, "Great, let's go back to the White House." Turns out he had been shot. And when they were driving back, a little bit of blood came up on his lip. And Jerry Parr saw that and went, "Oh my God, you have been shot. Get him to the hospital now." Went against all protocols to do it. Got him there. He was shot. And if he'd got there 5 minutes later, he would have died. That's what they said to him. So Jerry Parr saved his life, right? The only reason that Jerry Parr was there that day to be a Secret Service agent, because as a kid, he went to the cinema with his dad to see a movie called Code of the Secret Service. And it was all about the Secret Service. He loved it, obsessed with it. I want to do this with my life. The lead actor in that movie playing the Secret Service
Get out of here.
was Ronald Reagan.
No way.
So it's full circle. He saved himself. The president saved himself.
That's amazing.
And you just feel, and he believed that was his destiny once that happened, you know. And I love stories like that.
Yeah.
A bit goosebumpy, but, you know, I don't believe the universe manufactured that.
I think Dan might be my favorite person in the world.
Did you bring 2 copies of the book?
You can have this.
Can I steal that
Yeah,
one?
yeah. This is for you.
No, what's amazing about it is that you actually give us all this information and then you kind of suck us in, and I go, "Wow, that's amazing." And then
Well, I tell you what's amazing.
I don't believe any of this.
I just opened the book, and the first words I saw was Paul McCartney, and we were just talking about Ringo. So
Oh my God! Can I tell you
that's
the
kind of weird.
craziest thing about Paul McCartney? He believes that, you know, so there's been a few times where he's seen Linda, you know, and he believes not necessarily in ghosts, but he says it's magic, things happen. There is a story when they recorded "Free as a Bird," which is the reunion song in 1994 that they did, where Paul McCartney was convinced that John Lennon was in the studio for the recording. He was like, "I can just feel he's here. I can't prove it." And weird things would happen that he said were weird. They'd go outside for a photo and a peacock would walk into shot with the 3 members. He's like, "It's John." Like, he was using every moment to do it. But what ended up happening, and you can listen to this, I encourage anyone who wants to check this out to listen to this on wherever you stream music afterwards. Free as a Bird.
What was lovely about this was I was actually reading this last night.
Oh, yeah.
And in the chapter in the book, Dan says, "Okay, before I continue with this section of the book, go and listen to the song."
Yes, yeah, exactly. Because I think it's worth hearing this moment before you experience it. At the end of the song, they did a thing where they did backmasking. Backmasking is the technique, which you probably know, Harry, which is you take someone talking and you flip it backwards, so it goes on the record. And if you play it backwards, that's your secret message.
On all of McFly songs.
Yes.
If you play it backwards, "I should have been a cricketer." That's what it is.
So on the end of Free as a Bird, they take a bit of John Lennon where he says, "Turns out nice again," and they flipped it backwards so that you could listen to it and hear him saying that. And when they were doing the mastering of the song, someone said, "Did anyone hear that?" And they played it again. And the backwards words of John Lennon, that should be just garbled, blah, 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 come out as John Lennon's voice saying, "Made by John Lennon."
What?
He says his own name in a random clip that was picked just as a little joke of backmasking that no one, I mean, the mathematics on that, 1,000,000,000 to 1 that could happen. He says his name, and Paul McCartney says, "He's here, John's here," and he's just told us he's in the song.
It is all in the book, The Theory of Everything Else. Dan could set up his own religion, but has decided not to.
Because I believe in nothing.
Because he believes, hey, I believe in nothing, but here's another amazing thing you should believe in. Okay, well, we've got about 10 minutes left here. Guys, would you help us out with this? Because the weekend, it's Saturday morning is the time that the weekend hasn't disappointed us yet. And we've got our plans made. Sometimes you don't want those plans. Sometimes you want to try to get out of it. Sometimes you want to change your mind from those plans. You guys have been getting in touch. Would you help us out here to decide whether or not they kind of have to go through with their stuff or not? This is I'm a Listener, Get Me Out of Here. So, Dan will give very good advice and then say he doesn't believe it. Harry will give heartfelt advice. Katie in Oxford says, "My boyfriend Geordie wants us to get matching tattoos. He wants us both to get a diamond tattoo because they're forever. I've already decided no. Should she get the diamond tattoo?" You're a rock star, Harry. Should she get the tattoos?
Absolutely not. When I was 19, I was going to get a tattoo of Jim Morrison on my back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 36 now, and I'm so glad I didn't. I would have just been
That's very true. I mean,
You know what I mean? Instead, I got a tattoo saying "a tattoo" on my wrist because it is a tattoo. Let's be honest. Just don't. I mean, sorry, I don't have a reason for why not to, but just don't.
matching tattoos.
I think
Dan?
go for it. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I think even if you regret it, it's good to have something to just point at and go, look, I did that when I didn't want to do that. It's a good point.
How
of
big
saying,
is the diamond, though?
Oh yeah, how big is this diamond? We don't know.
Okay,
A small one. Make it a small one.
we
There
can check that.
We'll
Do we have
compromise.
Rachel? Rachel is on the line. Good morning, Rachel. How you doing?
Good morning, how are you?
We're very, very well, Rachel. What have you agreed to do that you can't be bothered doing now?
It's a little bit sly, but I've got dinner with my boyfriend's family tomorrow and I kind of want to get out of it.
Why do you want to get out of it?
They're lovely people, but they're all just quite awkward and it's like dragging blood out of a stone trying to get a conversation.
What time is this dinner at, Rachel?
It's at 5 p.m.
On a Sunday.
on a Sunday.
Okay, guys, what do we think?
Well, I just hope that somewhere someone's going to the family. Quick, Rachel's on the radio. Let's quick.
I'm
supported by listening.
I can't see how there's a future in this relationship, Rachel. Because he's just your boyfriend. Like, what if you get married?
Yeah, I can deal with it.
How? You can't even deal with a Sunday night casual dinner right now.
So you need an excuse to get out of this? Is that what you're looking for?
Should she go through with it? That's the thing. Because my thing, I would suggest potentially it's a Sunday afternoon. I would maybe go for a glass of cider with maybe some ice in it, starting around 2 or 3 o'clock. Pick up a copy of Dan's book.
Very good
and then
idea.
turn up. That would sort of make the dinner
And
go.
keep drinking and then get to the dinner. I'm worried she's just going to get so drunk she'll just go, "Oh God, you lot are so boring."
That's
just like drawing blood out of a stone.
That's exactly what I'm trying to go for.
Oh
here.
right.
The good thing is I don't drink, so I'm safe there.
Okay. How long have you been going out with your boyfriend?
2 years.
Does he know that you find his family dull?
Yeah, I don't really hold back when it
Does
comes
he
to him.
find them dull?
Yes, he does.
He does. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay.
We share that. The annoying thing is he won't start the conversation, so he just sits in silence and forces me to make conversation. and
Well,
puts
hang on.
me
Is
in that
he dull as
position.
well then? He sounds dull.
No, he's not actually dull. He's just dull around them.
Maybe. Look, if you're going to pull a sickie, I think you have to go in hard and be like, I have a severe stomach bug. You can't say, "Oh, I've got a bit of a cold." You've got to go in hard. So if you're going to pull a sickie, you've got to pretend to be really ill.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah, all or nothing. Yeah.
Rachel, I've only got one question.
Yes.
Is it really you that's dull? Are they really good? Are they really good fun? Maybe they're really good fun.
Maybe they think they're good fun.
Yeah, they're like,
probably
"Oh,
do.
Rachel's coming over tomorrow."
Okay, very quickly, should Rachel go ahead with this? Harry?
I think if you feel there's a future in your relationship, Rachel, you've got to just go, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think go, and maybe don't talk about it on national radio in future. Is a bit of advice.
Rachel, thank
Good
you,
advice.
thank you so much. Good luck with that. Thanks for being such a good sport. And we have Ollie on the line. How you doing, Ollie?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
We're very good. Now, Ollie, even by the tone of your voice, I kind of feel that whatever you're going to suggest, you don't want to do.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a in my throat. Yeah. So this weekend I have to move to the flat upstairs to mine. But on Tuesday I agreed months ago to drive my girlfriend's grandparents to the airport. One of the having to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. So I just kind of really don't want to move or drive my girlfriend's grandparents to the airport. But I have to move. So it's going to have to be the Tuesday thing I want to get out of.
What do we think about this, guys? Dan?
How important is it for them to get to the airport? I assume you're going to be ruining a lot in the process of not going, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, they are paying me, and it's a good rate. It's the rate that they would just pay a taxi anyways. So
Oh my
it is
God.
just
No.
me. Like,
Hang.
Whoa.
Hang on here, Ollie. So your girlfriend who you love,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
This isn't a favor. This is a paid gig.
Well, yes, it is.
And,
yes.
and you were happy to go into that. You were happy to go into that agreement in the first place.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was a month ago, and I mean, it was just like, well, they offered, and it was it's an hour and like 20-minute drive away to like where they live, and then it's to the airport near where I live, like another hour and 20-minute drive away. And the reason was because since we're moving upstairs, the first day that we get like electricity and would actually be able to like sleep is Monday night. And because we have to get up at 5:30 in the morning, we have to actually go down and stay down there like on the first night that we would be sleeping in our like new flat. So it's just a bit like, oh, everything's just come together at the same time, and I didn't expect it because I had said yes to this like a month ago. So
Ollie, there's really only one question that we all have: how much are you being paid?
I actually can't divulge that information because I don't even know myself. I can't remember. I agreed to it a month ago.
Okay, now we have full disclosure from Ollie. Dan, should Ollie, who is being paid to drive her girlfriend's grandparents to the airport, let these poor people down? Where are they off to? Are they off on holiday, or where are they heading?
Yeah, I think they're off on holiday.
Okay, so
I don't even know.
should she let them down and they can't make it on their holiday?
Yeah, let them down. Ditch them. Ditch those old people. Let them miss the holiday. Let them not pay you that exorbitant amount of money that they've got going.
I strongly disagree. Not only should you drive them, you should insist that they don't pay you. Maybe just petrol money. But
charge double. Put the child lock on when you get to the airport. Refuse to let them out unless they double the fee.
This is similar to a story. I just heard a friend of mine who's scared of spiders, had a spider in her flat. She said to her neighbour, please come you help, you can't get rid of this spider, I'll pay you 20 quid. The guy came in, took the spider out and took the 20 quid.
Oh, really?
Surely you just go, don't be silly, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll drive you to the airport.
Yeah. No.
Well, I mean, if there's an offer there.
Ollie, it was committed a month ago. You got to stick. I don't like flaky people, Ollie. Come on.
Drop them off at the wrong terminal. Do that. Just get them to the arrivals, not departures. Yeah.
This is very, very solid advice, Ollie. Thanks for that.
I'll take all of it into consideration.
There you go. That is Ollie, who is soon to split up with her girlfriend. She is refusing to drive the grandparents to the airport for money. And on that bombshell, Dan Schreiber and Harry Judd, thanks so much for joining us. Dan's book, The Theory of Everything Else, is out now. New music coming soon, Harry?
Yes, yeah. We've next year, early next year, new album. We spent the whole summer recording a new album. Very excited. By far, favourite album we've ever made.
BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
There are loads